Hello and welcome to another session of Relationship Q&A. Thank you so much for coming. If this is your first time of coming to one of these sessions, thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate you. Please do well to thumbs up the stream and feel free to follow us every Sunday because we have this live stream every Sunday at 5 p.m. UK time. But thank you so much for coming today. Okay, for everyone already in the chat, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, so I can see Mary Mekune. Thank you so much. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly, but thank you so much for coming. The Beautiful, thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, so today we have a very interesting topic on ground, and just to let you know, we do this live stream every Sunday at 5 p.m. UK time. And the way the live stream goes is always engaging. So I don't like to just sit down and talk myself. I like your contributions. We rub minds together and try to find solutions. Okay, Elias Matters, thank you so much for coming. Happy Sunday to you too. Thank you so much. How has your day been? Renoma Empire, thank you so much. I'm so happy to see everyone. I'm always so excited to see everyone. I don't take you for granted at all, but thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. Okay, so thank you, Renoma Empires, Elias Matters, The Beauty Food, and Mary. I'll just call you Mary so I don't spoil your name. Thank you all so much for coming, and please feel free to share the stream if you can as well. Thank you so much. How is everyone? How's everyone been? Okay, so today we have a topic on ground, and the topic simply says it's a man that was saying to his wife that he actually came on Facebook to say that he brought his wife to Europe. Therefore, the wife has to do what he says. She has to listen to him and do what he says. So that's the story. Okay, so I got the story from a family. I think it's a KO family on Facebook. Yeah, but the reason we're talking about the story is not just to talk about the story for the sake of telling story, but also what can we learn from the story? What is the way forward for these people? Okay, so that's why we are doing this live stream. Okay, but thank you so much for coming. For everyone already in the chat, thank you so much. A talk with Richie, thank you so much. I appreciate you for coming today and for coming on time as well. Guys, please thumbs up the stream if you haven't already done so. Thank you so much. Okay, so the aim of this live stream is to be for an hour. Okay, the aim is for it to be an hour, but we'll see how it goes. And I've dropped the link as well. I'm going to drop the link again. So if anyone wants to jump on the stream, that would be highly appreciated. Let's see if we can drop it. So let me drop. I'm just trying to see if I can drop the link. I think the link is up there on the screen. So if anyone wants to, I'll just pin it. Yes, I've pinned the link there. So if anyone wants to come up, please feel free to come up and tell us your opinion, tell us what you think about the story. But basically, this man brought his wife to Europe, somewhere in Europe. I think it's somewhere in Italy or Spain, somewhere in Europe. And then he says to his wife that he doesn't want his wife to work. He doesn't want her to have any friends. He doesn't want her to have any friends at all. He wants her to be a full-time housewife. He wants her to take care of the children, to do nothing, not to have any friends, because he's the one that brought her to Europe. Okay, and the wife has got to a point where she says, you know what, I can't take that anymore. The fact that you brought me to Europe doesn't mean that you have to control my life. Okay. Right. So the fact that you brought me to Europe doesn't mean that you right. I've got someone sending me a private chat saying that they can't see me. I don't know why. But maybe come out of the stream and come back in again. Maybe that would help. Okay, so the wife has got to a point where she's like, you know what? The fact that you brought me to Europe doesn't mean that you have to control my life. Okay, so now the question is, who is right? Is it this man that says the woman has to listen to him? Or is it the woman that's saying, no, I've had enough. I'm not going to listen to you anymore. You can't control my life anymore. So that's the story. So what do you think is right in this instance? Okay, that's the question that we have on ground today. Okay, but thank you all so much for coming, for everyone in the chat. Elias Mata, The People's Choice shows, thank you so much. It's Talk with Richie, Renoma Empires, thank you all so much. Please, please, please let me hear your comments. Leave your comment in the comments in the chat, or you can come up and tell me what you think. Do you think the man is right to say that because he says that because he's invested so much in his wife? Susan Herbert Tips, thank you for coming. He's saying that because he's invested so much in his wife, therefore, he has control over her. Fitness Study, thank you for coming. Because he's invested in his wife, he has so much control over her. She shouldn't be able to do anything else. No friends, nothing, nothing, nothing. So do you think this man is right because he brought her from Africa, therefore he has the right to control her? Do you think that's the right thing to do? Okay, so let's start from there. Okay, I know there are some people in the chat. Just they are both wrong. Okay, so wrong. Susan Eberstein is saying that they are both so wrong. So Susan Eberstein is saying that the man is wrong. Mary is saying that they are both wrong. Okay, so when you say they are wrong, why do you say they are wrong? Is it that the man should not, after all, he spent his money to bring her to Europe, so why would you say he's wrong? Okay, so that like both of them are mixing up a recipe for disaster. Right. Okay, so the beautiful, they're saying that they are both doing the wrong thing because what they are doing is recipe for disaster. So I'm guessing what you're saying is that the fact that the man brought her to Europe doesn't mean that he has to control her. And she also shouldn't be saying, you can't control me anymore. And I agree with you because there are better ways that they could handle this situation. Let's say they have young kids. So yes, they've got kids. Okay, and the woman is saying that, okay, she's stayed at home, she's been a stay-at-home mom, she's been taking care of the kids. Now the kids are a bit grown up. Therefore, she doesn't want to be a stay-at-home mom anymore. Okay, but like the beautiful says that there are better ways to handle the situation because they are both mixing up a recipe for disaster. At the end of the day, they are going to have problems in their home. So Mary said the wife has to stay back for a while and look after the kids. Exactly. So that's also true. And we've talked about this I think in one of my live streams where I talked about, should I give up my career for my partner? A couple of months ago, we did that live stream. And what we said was that if you are a woman and you have a career, then what you can do is when you have a child, you can say, okay, you know what, I will stay back until the children get to a certain age. And once they get to that age, then I can go back to work. And I totally agree with that. Okay, so earlier I said understanding really matters. They need to sit down and talk about it. This is serious. Yes, it's a serious matter, and that's why I need your opinion on this because this is a real life situation. So this woman cried out to say, okay, I can't do this anymore. Okay, my husband can't control me anymore. You know, there's a lot more to the story, but we just talk about this, and especially by Marie. Thank you so much. I don't know what's happening to my throat. She should make some cash for herself. Yeah, so she should, but the man has said she shouldn't work. She doesn't want her to work. He doesn't want her to have any friends, you know. So the friend that she made a friend in church, and the man says if the friend is spoiling her, therefore he doesn't want her to be friends with that person anymore. She can't work because the man is jealous that if she goes to work, then men will start chasing her and all that, and she might and fall for them. Okay, so it's a difficult situation, and the woman has been collecting the child benefit, and now the man says that he wants to. Actually, the man has been collecting the child benefit for the children, or children benefits. You know, so the woman is left with nothing, no money, nothing. Okay, so it's a difficult position for them to be in. Maybe the man is concerned about childcare costs, which is very expensive abroad. And I agree. But again, like you said, they need to talk about it, you know. But this man is saying, don't work, don't mix up. So if he's concerned about childcare, then he will allow the woman to have a life, at least have some friends so she can socialize. But he's saying that, Lady J, thank you for coming. But he's saying that that the woman shouldn't work, she shouldn't mix up with people at all. Okay, the beautiful they saying, I feel like they are starting on a wrong foot. There should be a peace and the manner at which the points are put out there. Okay, so lady, the beautiful is saying that there should be peace, which means they should talk things out, and I totally agree in situations like this. But even Lushola, thank you for coming. Even in situations whereby they want to talk it out, the man has this mindset already that, you know what, it's I brought you, so there's nothing you can say to me. There's nothing you can say to me. You can't walk. You have to listen to me. So that's a very difficult situation. And a lot of African men have this mentality that because I brought you to Europe, therefore you have to listen to me. It's a very, very erroneous mindset, but a lot of people still have it. Okay, they both bring up their individual opinions in a loving manner and listen to each other as to why they have these opinions. Then all should be good. Exactly. If they would listen to each other, then that would be the best case scenario. But in this case, they are not listening to each other. They're not listening to each other. The man is saying, no, 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 I'm a man, I'm an African man, I'll provide, I'll go to work, I'll come back while you stay at home. Okay, so that's what's happening, and the woman is not happy that she's been like that for a long time. Now she wants a change. Okay, Lady G say, good evening, host. Thank you for coming. The man don't have to stop her from having friends. Exactly. Is she in prison or marriage? Totally disagree with the man. Exactly. Because like it feels like she's in prison because she can't do anything. The only anywhere she's going, he takes her there, he does her shopping for her, buy her clothes, do everything. So she doesn't even have a choice to do anything by herself. Going to church, going to the shop, to the market, everything, the man takes her there. Okay, so to me, it feels like prison, just like Susan Herbert Tibbs have said, where then they will probably end up divorced. Exactly, because the woman has had it. She's like, you know what, I can't take this anymore. And like I said, there's only so much anyone can take. There's only so much. But it's important that African men or men in general should not have that mentality of control. The fact that you're an African man, the fact that you brought someone to Europe doesn't mean that you would now have to control the person. I've also heard of stories whereby a man brings. I think we did another of my live stream where a man brought a woman from Africa, and then she says, "Oh, I didn't want you anymore." That's a different one. But then there are stories where the story in America, I think, where the man brought the wife from Africa, from Nigeria, trained her in school and all that, and he wanted her to be submitting her salary to the man, to him. So we wanted her salary, but she got to a point, she's like, no, I can't give you this money anymore. So the fact that you brought this person to Europe, wherever, because you love the person, because you want to spend your life with them, it doesn't mean that you now need to start controlling them. I'll just read some comments. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you so much for joining us. The man is also wrong. Okay, so the beauty says, wow, then they will probably end up in divorce. That's too much now. She's literally in prison. Exactly. This is worse. So she can't do anything on her own. No, she can't do anything on her own. She can't do anything on her own. She can't go to the shop. She can't do anything. The man just says, you know what? You'll be my baby mama, basically, have the children, cook for me. Like she's almost a slave to this guy. So Holistic Wellbeing, thank you so much for coming. Holistic Wellness. You've changed your name again. Happy Sunday to you too. She's a helpmate. Supposed to be her housemaid to a man. She is a helpmate. Exactly. Okay, but this is, like I said, this is just one story. Okay, but these are things that happen when men or even women sometimes bring their partners abroad, and they tend to have different issues. There's one we talked about. Deborah, just come in. There's one we talked about where this man brought his wife from Nigeria, and she became a medical doctor, and after about 15 years she said she didn't want him anymore. Okay, so we have different issues that come up in diasporan relationships, diasporan marriages. Okay, but The point is, we need to, when we are bringing people in, when we're bringing people from Nigeria, husband or wife, we need to have a plan. Okay, say for instance, my husband brings me from Nigeria and he says, okay, I want to support you to go to school or to get an education, like that woman we heard about. He too needs to be developing himself, because the fact that you brought me abroad doesn't mean that I automatically stay with you. So I should, but in some cases the women don't, because they get to a stage whereby I have developed myself, I've gone to school, I've developed myself. Why you, the man, you're sitting down there not doing anything to yourself? Okay, so in that case, the problems will definitely come. And in the case when the man is saying, okay, you're working, bring all your money to me, that's another issue that will cause problems in that marriage. Okay, but this particular case, the woman said she was almost in slavery, she was depressed, she was unhappy, she can't take it anymore, and things like that could even cause them to take their own lives. So it's not a good mindset to have, especially for the man. Okay, I'll just read a few more comments. Baby mama or nanny, exactly. This one past baby mama is like having a nanny to take care of the children, to cook, to do like house help, and she wasn't having it anymore. And they came out to say, okay, what can we do? We need that. The woman actually came out to say she needs help. So like I said, we're not just telling these stories, we're trying to say, okay, what can we learn from these stories as well? But like I said, if you have any opinions, anything you want to talk about, the link is in the chat there. Please click on the chat and let's discuss. The topic is really funny. My husband brought me from Nigeria to Obodo Ibo, but no such rules. Yeah. So she's saying that her husband brought her. Oh, so your hobby, okay. And that's how it should be. That's how it should be, because he brought you because he wants to spend the rest of his life with you. He brought you because he loved you and he wants to be happy. That's why he brought you. So those rules should not apply. Rather, if he wants you to go to school, to go and do a course, that's fine. He supports you and you support him as well. That's how it should be. Like, did you say, how can some men be treating their wives like slaves, all because they help them? Nonsense. Relationship Builders Forum, thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay. Nonsense. Exactly. So it really doesn't make sense that you say you brought this person because you claim to love them, you want to spend the rest of your life with them, and then because you had the opportunity to bring them abroad, therefore they become your slave. They are there when you call them, okay, come here, they're there, go there. It shouldn't be that way, but rather you should be able to support each other. And someone was saying that if you are in trouble through thick and thin, it's that person that you married that will be there for you through when the times are rough. That person will be there for you, whether your husband or your wife. So if everyone turns their back on you, your husband or your wife should be the one to stand by you. But if you treat them badly, then how will they be able to stand by you? If you treat them like a slave, how will they be able to stand like you? So men are mean, yes. Yeah, but again, it's not just about him being mean, it's a mentality, the mindset that he has. Like, okay, I'm an African man, therefore I call the shots. After all, let me bring you, come abroad. So that mindset is something that needs to be erased. Okay, and he's not alone on this. There are so many other people that have the same mentality, the same mindset, because they can provide. They'll be like, okay, you know what, you stay at home, take care of the children and do that while I work, because they are jealous. And even when the wife say, okay, I'm going to work, they are jealous, and then it will cause problems and say the wife is cheating or things like that, and cause problems for the woman. Okay, there's so many like that. Some men do the things out of fear that the woman may do worse things. Little do they know that they are doing it wrong. Exactly. Number one, thank you for coming. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you. So yeah, so a lot of they're doing it because they are afraid that, okay, if this woman goes out, this could happen. Maybe she will cheat on me. Maybe she'll meet someone else and things like that. And at the end of the day, they are digging their own grave. They are making things worse for themselves. And the marriage is not going to work. There won't be peace in that home. And we know that everyone needs peace. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much. It's okay. Holistic wellness. Some men even drop their wife by the roadside. Yeah. Oh my God, I've not heard of that one before. All in the name of the fact that they brought you, therefore you come and be my slave and work for me. That's really, really sad. That's really, really sad. I think your comment is hidden because of the word you put there. So many men have insecurity issues and it's difficult to handle. And that's true. That's true. A lot of people, not just men, even women have insecurity issues. But the important thing is for us to be able to control our insecurity. The beautiful, thank you so much for that super chat. You're watching from Nigeria. Thank you so much. I've not had anyone super chat me from Nigeria before, so that's amazing. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. So, like I was saying, we all have insecurities, but we should be able to manage our insecurities as men, as women, as husbands or wives. Be able to manage your insecurity, otherwise, you will be digging a hole for yourself, causing problem for your own marriage. So it's important that we're able to control our insecurities. Okay, but most men, like this man in question, is not able to control his insecurity. He's saying that something did happen. Oh. So he's not able to control his insecurity, feeling that if his wife goes out to work, she's going to get chased by other women. People are going to make passes at her and she might fall for them. But again, where is the trust in the marriage? So when it comes to marriage, we want to trust each other enough to say, okay, you know what? I trust you not to do anything stupid or anything silly. Okay. Which is really important. So trust is really important in every relationship. Okay, and the freedom to be yourself, the freedom to say, okay, you know what, I will support you to be the best version of yourself. Why you support me to be the best version of myself? Because there's no need for you to say, okay, I'll support you to go to school, I'll support you to get a nursing degree or whatever, and then I'm here not doing anything on my own. Because by the time and I finish my college, you and I will be on different levels. Okay, and that can also pose a problem in relationships. Okay, so it's important that we develop ourselves, we support each other, so it's really, really important. Okay, well, thank you all so much for coming and for your amazing contribution. Like I said, the link is pinned to the chat. So if anyone wants to jump on, please do, so that we can discuss. Otherwise, I'll just keep cracking on. Okay, but thank you all so much for coming. Like I said, there was also a man in so this is when we're talking about the issues that couples go through when they live abroad. Another incident was a man that trained his wife to become a nurse. Once she became a nurse, she started taking advantage of her husband. Okay, she started controlling. She didn't want the man's mom in the house. She was trying to control the man. And what eventually happened was the fact that the man, and Cobden, thank you for coming. I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. So what happened is that the man eventually shot her because out of anger, out of hurt, it felt like he was being betrayed by someone he'd supported for such a long time. Yeah. So he got to a stage he couldn't control his temper anymore, and then he shot his wife and then shot himself. Okay, so 2 lives wasted because the situation was not handled correctly, something that could have been talked about. Okay, because there was no communication, because it wasn't handled properly, the 2 lives were lost in that situation. Yeah, so just respect your hobby no matter what. So yes, it's important that you respect. So when it comes to relationship, husband, wife need to respect themselves, but why should they be on a different level? So that's a very good question, Mary. I've just seen that question. I'll try and pin that question. But why should they be on a different level? Okay, so I did a live stream a couple of months ago, and the story in that live stream was the fact that this woman came from Nigeria, and she came into the UK. And what happened was, she came in, she was in medical school when she came. I think she had just finished her medical school. So she came to the UK, and She continued with her medical degree and all that. She got a job. She became a general practitioner, which is a doctor in the UK. And the husband that brought her to the UK was working, was hustling, which is fine. So the man was hustling, and eventually this woman will go to work in the morning. She works, and then come back home because the man has maybe casual jobs. So yes, the man had casual jobs. So probably works in the factory or works in a care home or things like that. He didn't have a good job. So this woman came from Nigeria, improved herself, became a doctor while the man was still enjoying his casual job. So when she had a baby, the man was the one at home taking care of the child. So she had the child and went straight back to work after a few weeks. The man was at home taking care of the kids, taking care of the newborn baby. The woman will come home and then the man will be the one to cook, which is a good thing. But if you look at the situation, the woman needs a man that can say, okay, you know what? Since you are progressing, you are becoming a medical doctor, let me go and do a course to make myself better so I can match up with you in a way. But if that doesn't happen, then the two people begin to reason differently. And when they begin to reason differently, it causes problem. It shouldn't, but in some cases it does. Okay, I think some people come into relations with their own agenda. Some people are so stuck in their ways and not willing to make adjustments. And that's true. That's also true. So it shouldn't be, but if I'm developing myself, so let's take that woman and her husband aside. So if, for instance, I'm reading books, I'm making myself better, I'm pursuing my career, I'm wanting to be better, and my husband is just sitting down there not doing anything, it gets to a stage where we begin to think differently. So I'm saying A, he's saying Z. So that puts us in different levels because we're not thinking alike anymore. And that is a major issue, a major problem when it comes to relationships. It causes major problems, but a lot of times we don't see these things. We take them for granted. So as a man, if your wife is progressing, you should be progressing as well. Okay, so if your husband is progressing, you as a woman, don't just sit down there and tie a wrapper on your chest. So you want to be making progress as well. So it's really important that we're all making progress. We're both making progress. We're supporting each other to grow. Not a situation where one person is growing and the other person is not. Okay, because at the end of the day, it will cause problems in that marriage. Okay, so I'm just gonna highlight whose comments. Yeah, so relationship leaders have just said that some people come into relationship or get married with a different agenda. And one of the major agendas that people, for women, they come into marriage saying that, okay, you know what? I'm married now. I'm just going to enjoy myself. No plan, nothing. And at the end of the day, when you don't have a plan, when you don't talk about issues that are important, and then issues start coming up in the marriage, you'll be like, okay, this is not what I bargained for, or maybe this is not what I expected. Okay, and that begins to bring problems in the marriage. Like this man in question, he probably had an agenda. Okay, let this woman come and then she'll be my wife, she'll be my nanny, she'll be this, she'll be that. But the woman, on the other hand, came into the marriage like, okay, I'm traveling abroad to make my life better. So they both have different agendas, and that would definitely be a problem in the marriage. But what if the man does not want to further himself? So when we're talking about furthering yourself, it doesn't have to be education. Yeah, it doesn't have to be that you have to go to school. But again, it depends on the environment where you are. So that lady I talked about, the lady, she was a medical doctor. The husband couldn't speak like good English. And she said, okay, you know what? Why don't you go and register for a course? He said no. Why don't you do online course? He said no. Okay, why don't you do like apprenticeship so that you can get another job? He said no. Okay, so you can't be on one spot for a long time. So even if you're not going to college, if you're not going to uni, you're not doing anything, you can't be on one spot. You should be progressing. Say, for instance, you're not wanting to get a job, then maybe start a business, something to make you better. So that when I see you, when I wake up in the morning, I see you, I'll be like, okay, yes, my husband is making progress. Not that, okay, he's been there for a long time. And again, people differ. There are some women that are okay with that kind of man. So, okay, you'll be on that one position, but they themselves will have to be in that position. But a woman that wants to grow, that wants to develop herself, would definitely want her husband to be the same. And the same for the man. If a man is a man that wants to progress and make himself better, he expects the same for his wife. So that when they sit down and they're talking, they're exchanging ideas. So it's really important that, and again, every couple is different, every couple is unique. And like I said, it depends on the couple themselves. So there are some couple that, okay, you are the bank manager or you are the MD of this company. Keep enjoying yourself. I have a shop. Let me be enjoying my shop. They're fine with each other that way. Okay, there are some people that, okay, you know what? I want to progress my career. I want to be better. Therefore, the partner has to do the same. Otherwise it gets to a point, and that's why you see that some men get married and then they start looking at other girls outside because the wife has forgotten about herself. Okay, she's forgotten about herself. She's forgotten to make herself better. She's now tying wrapper at home, now not taking care of herself. But this man is seeing women outside that are dressing up and doing that. So he might not necessarily cheat, but he would wish that his wife was like that. So it's important that we're meeting up to the standard of our partners. Okay, I think that's just it. So if your husband or your wife is that person that wants to progress, then you need to progress as well. If your partner is that person that says, okay, I'm fine where I am, then fine with you both, so long as you're happy with each other. Okay, so Holistic says, exactly, I think both should develop themselves. You are on point. Okay, thank you very much for that. I think, let me go here. We need to keep learning and unlearning and relearning. Life is in phases and we need to adjust to each season. And that's also correct. Charles Wadai, thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much. Are you back from your holiday? Are you back from Spain? I know you went to Spain. Should intelligence affect love? Okay. I'll come back to that question. Life is in phases and we need to adjust to each other. And that's so absolutely true. So life is in phases. And I was listening to a podcast last week, and the man that was speaking, is a divorce attorney. So is an attorney that specializes in divorce and all that. And he says that he got divorced. And the reason he got divorced was not because he didn't love his wife anymore. It's not because the wife was a bad person, but they met early. They met probably when they were 15 or 17. By the time they grow up to become 30, 40, they realize that they want different things. They realize that they like different things. So they grew apart. They just could not fit each other anymore. So they divorced. Okay, and what's a relationship that I said life is a journey, is in phases. So at certain stage of your life, this is what you want to do. So growing up, you have learned there's some things that you have learned, like, okay, just be full-time housewife. You get to a certain stage in your life and you tell yourself, you know what, I can't be that anymore. That's lesson I've learned. It's actually it's not relevant to me right now. You unlearn those things and you learn new things. You know that, okay, you know what, I need to make myself better. Okay, and on my channel, we are all about making yourself better, building positive relationship. That's what we do on this channel. So you need to make yourself better by fire, by force. You can't just sit down there and say, okay, I'm comfortable. No. So you should be doing something to make yourself better every single day. Okay, so it's really important. So if you don't want to develop that question you asked there, if you don't want to develop yourself, if you and your partner are okay like that, that's yours. So long as it works for you, that's fine. But in an ideal case, you want to get better, you want to learn new things, so that when you go to places, you can be able to say, okay, this is what I've learned, or this is what I've not learned. Okay, and there's a question there that says, should intelligence affect love? So love is an emotion. Okay, so love is an emotion. Intelligence is completely different. People fall in love for different reasons. People fall in love, like, okay, maybe because this person is intelligent, maybe because this person can speak well. People fall in love for different reasons. Intelligence itself should not affect the love. Okay, but ideally you want to marry someone that you are comfortable with, someone you have the same level of someone you're compatible with in terms of your mental state. So you think alike, you reason alike, you're in the same level of intelligence. Or if your partner has more intelligent quotient, IQ than you, then he should be bringing you up to his level, or she should be bringing you up to her level. Okay, but ideally, intelligence and love are completely different things. Okay, we need to keep learning and learning. I've read that one. I don't think intelligence should affect love, but it will surely complement love. Soon they will begin to reason differently. Exactly. Um, and that's why I said, when it gets if your partner has a higher level of intelligence than you want to bring yourself to that level. That person should be able to drag you to their level. Okay, so Norma is saying what we call inferiority complex when it comes to a man side, and we are good in blaming others when the other party grows. And that's true. So when one person grows and the other person has Mr. Brista, thank you for coming. When one person grows and the other person doesn't grow, the other person, especially the man, from the man's perspective, it begins to feel inferior, and that alone can affect the relationship. So if the man grows, if the man becomes maybe a, I don't know, gains a contract of $1,000 billion, the woman will be happy for him. But in most cases, if the story was reversed, the man becomes inferior. Like, okay, some, not all men. Okay, like, okay, this woman has got this kind of money. How is she going to respect me? Will she do this? Will she do that? They begin to feel inferior, and that happens a lot. Okay, so that's also true. Let's have a look, see if there are any other comments I need to discuss. No host, we are still on holiday. Oh, really? Keep enjoying, enjoy your holiday. Oh my God, I need a holiday myself. Hello. So the fitness study, thank you for coming. Thank you so much. We uplift each other, and that's also true. We uplift each other as partners. Okay, but the most important is let's not leave ourselves and say, okay, my partner is growing, I'm not growing, I'm here. Let's not, as a man, like that man in today's story that we're talking about, let's not try to put the woman down and say, okay, you know what, you be here, look after the kids, because you don't know what potential the woman has. The woman might be the one to save you tomorrow, because we know that tomorrow is never guaranteed. The woman might be the one that will save you tomorrow. So the man should not try to tie the woman and say, okay, you be the housewife, because there's only so much a woman or a man can take. Okay, Blue Jeans Network, thank you so much. I'm fine, thank you. How are you? Thank you so much for coming. Okay, so the man should not try to put the woman down and say, okay, don't grow, don't progress, because something might happen tomorrow and that woman that you've put down might be the one to save you. So it's really important that we change our mindset, especially the men. Change your mindset. Whether you brought her abroad or not shouldn't be the question at all. Should not be the question at all. So you brought that person, man or woman, to be with you so you can spend the rest of your lives together. So there's no need to say, okay, you know what, you stay at home because I brought you, therefore you need to listen to me, therefore you need to do what I say. To me, that ideology is really, really wrong. Okay, so that's just it for today. But thank you all so much for coming. If you have any comments, any questions, please put it in the chat. I'll be more than happy to answer them. And like I said, the link is there if anyone wants to jump on as well. I'll just scroll to see. Many men don't like it when their wife grow. Hello, Blue Jays. Thank you for coming. Many men don't like it when their wives grow. And that's why Norma said just now that they become inferior. They begin to have inferiority complex, but not all men, okay? Some men would tend to support their wives. Some men would encourage their wives, empower their wives, because just like, I think there was one story you were telling us last week of a man that it was the wife that had the car he was driving and all that, but no one knew about it. Okay, so there's some men that would help their wives that way, to grow and to develop and all that, but not all. Some men, majority of men will become inferior. Okay, but thank you guys so much for coming. Fitness Study, Blue Jeans, Holistic Wellbeing, Talk with Richie Elias Matters. Thank you so, so much for coming. I really, really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, any contributions, please leave it in the chat so we can discuss them. Okay, and like I said, it's not like it's a one-off. It's something that happens all over and over and over again. It's something that's been happening over and over again. But again, we need to change our mindset. We need to change our there are things, right? Let's see what Norma said. These things. You're trying to correct your statement with past the essence, Norma. Let's see what your statement was. Let's have a look. Norma. Right, that's what we call inverted complex when it comes to a man's side, and we're good in blaming other when the other party grows. Yeah. Chiwe Ozoma, thank you so much for coming. I really do appreciate you. This thing. So yeah, so this so it causes inferiority complex in the part of the man. The man might be insecure. This, okay, you know what, if I let this woman, this will happen, that will happen, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the case. So you brought her so that you can support her, so that you can have a life together. So the least you could do is support her and not have that mindset of saying, oh, because I brought you, you have to listen to me. That's a very, very wrong mindset. And to the woman as well. Okay, and we're saying before that there's a better way to handle it. If you know that you don't want to be in that situation anymore, then what you could do is sit down and you both talk about the situation and say, okay, you know what, this. Okay, and then you can come out with the right solution. And again, a lot of times when women, some women, not all, some women will be like, okay, you know what, I'll pretend and do everything you want until I'm there. And once they are there, they change and become something else. So you might have agreed. So maybe the man has said, okay, when you come, you do this. They will pretend and say, okay, I will do this when I come. But by the time they reach the Obodoyibo, everything changed, and then it becomes a different story. Bridget saying, why should she not listen to him? Do you want her to go wild abroad? Can make women eye tear. And that's true. And that's what I'm just saying. So sometimes when they come, their eye will tear. I'm like, okay, you know what I'm gonna do. But yes, listen to him, but not to the extent whereby he now has to control her. Because in this story, the man was practically controlling his wife. So no friends, no job, no socialization, nothing at all. Just stay at home, look after the kids, cook for me and the kids, and that's all. Satisfy me in bed. That's all you need to do. As if she's a slave, as if she's a nanny, she's a slave, she's just there to serve him. But that shouldn't be. There's only so much anyone can take in that kind of situation, because we know that we're all social creatures. We all crave for social contact. And so maybe at the beginning, being with the man himself might be all right for her, like, okay, I have you, I'm fine. But it gets to a stage where she will begin to crave other contact, especially for a woman. You want to be with other women. Okay, this woman had a friend. The man says, oh, this one is a bad friend. Don't go near her because this woman is going to tear your eye, is going to spoil you. So who is the right person that I'm going to be friends with? Okay, so this man was trying to control the wife, and that should not be at all. Okay, but again, some women really would tear eye when they come, and that's why we say men. And this man in question as well left the person he was dating, someone that had children for him. That's why I said his story is in different parts. So this woman left the man left the woman that had children for him and decided to go and marry this lady from Nigeria. Because he wanted someone that was a novice, someone that didn't know anything, someone that would come and be his slave, Like seriously, God, I wish control, listen to him. control, listen to him, do what he says, slave and all. He is your husband and not brother. Yeah, so yes, he's my husband, but that doesn't mean, so the fact that he's my brother also means that I have to have a life. So yes, I'll listen to you, I'll do what you say, but I need to have my own life. You know, I need to have my own life. I need to have my own friends. I need to have my own identity. So I need to have my own identity, not just being a wife. So being a wife is to be one of my identities, but I need to have my own. I need to say, okay, this is who I am, not just a wife and a mother. Okay. I don't blame him. Some men still live in the 1800 generation. And that's the mindset that we need to unlearn. We need to get them to unlearn those mindset. Like, okay, you know what? That's not the right mentality to have. That's not the right mindset to have. Because this man has been wired in a way that, okay, he feels like because he's a man, this is how it should be done. But no, those things need to be unlearned. He wanted someone he can control and cage, exactly. But this woman got to a stage, she's like, you know what? I'm not having it anymore. you know what happens to the woman here in abroad, the women here in abroad? Exactly. No, the women abroad, they are too wild, they are this, they are that, they won't respect them, so they'll go to Africa and marry a simple girl, quiet girl, and come. And then the one, when they get here, they turn into something else. I see you too, hiding at the background. Okay, thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate all your contributions. Thank you so much. Okay, so bottom line today, what we're saying is the mindset of that control mindset should be unlearned. Okay, so we need to unlearn. So yes, this person is your wife. So yes, this person is your husband. You've brought them from Africa because you love them and you want to spend the rest of your life with them. You shouldn't be controlling them. You shouldn't make them your slave. And some women do it as well. Because I brought my husband abroad, therefore he needs to listen to me. Therefore he needs to respect me. Otherwise, I'll chase him out and lock him outside. And there was a story I saw on Facebook recently of a woman that called the police for her husband because they had an argument. Okay, so in that case, probably she was the one that had the documents, she was the one that had papers, therefore she would call the cops for her husband, and that's so wrong as well. Okay, so men, women, you've brought this person or you sponsor this person for a reason so that you can live together happily ever after. There's no need to start taking them for granted. There's no need to start treating them bad.